Hello, everyone. Good morning. Dear authors and invited guests, welcome to this technical session 4B. Myself, Aarti Mohan, and this session would be moderated by me. On behalf of Global Knowledge Research Foundation, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the 8th International Conference on Smart Trends in Computing and Communication SMARTCOM 2024, Pune, India. The 8th edition of the conference is being organized in a hybrid mode. The physical event is organized today in Pune, India, and the virtual event is being organized through Zoom today and tomorrow, that is 12th and 13th January 2024. I hope you will enjoy the knowledgeable and interactive session through the day. In this session, we have 10 presentations. Each presenter will be given 8 minutes for the presentation and 2 minutes for the question and answer session round. On 7 minutes, I'll raise a gentle reminder. There's another request to all the participants that you all stay connected with us till the closing remarks. If you have any query or update, then write it to me in the chat box. Just before we get started, I would like you to introduce to the session chair, Dr. Smita Agarwal. She is an associate professor and HOD in Department of IT, JECRC, Jaipur, India. We welcome you, ma'am. Dr. Smita Agarwal is presently working as Head of Department of Information Technology of Jaipur Engineering College and Research Center JECRC Jaipur. She is having a total teaching experience of more than 20 years. She also has an experience as an HOD of more than 10 years. She is a member of BOS in Nirvan University, Jaipur. She is a research supervisor in RTU, Nirvan University and JECRC University, a reviewer in Journal of Soft Computing, SOCO. We welcome you, ma'am. It's a pleasure to have you on board with us for the conference.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay.
I would like to start with the papers. I would like to invite Vivin Brain Lobo to present his paper on a conceptual framework for building robust blockchain technology, enable business processes in commodity market, a systems approach. Sir, could you please present your paper?
Yes, ma'am. I'll just share the screen. Is my screen visible, ma'am?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. All right. So good morning, everyone present here. My paper ID is 190, and the title of my paper is A Conceptual Framework for Building Robust Blockchain Technology Enabled Business Processes in Commodity Markets Using Systems Approach. So my name is Vivian Brian Lobo, and the co-author is Dr. Madhuri Rao from Department of Information Technology at Thadomal Shahani Engineering College, which is situated in Mumbai, India. These are the contents for my presentation: introduction, preliminary study, review of existing literature, the proof of concept or the conceptual framework that I am proposing after a comprehensive literature review for commodity markets with the help of blockchain technology, discussion of this conceptual framework, future scope followed by references. So, as we all know, that a commodity can be considered to be a joint name for several products that can be traded in a commodity market. And they are nothing but a set of homogeneous goods or materials that are not only brought, but also it can be sold freely as an article of trade. So, if we talk about the classification of commodity markets, they are broadly classified into agricultural and non agricultural commodities. Wherein, under agricultural commodities, we have got non processed farm produce, processed farm produce, livestock, and forestry. And their respective examples have been provided, like wheat, soya bean, corn, oil, meal products, dairy products. If I talk about non-agricultural commodities, we have got metal and energy complex, wherein we have got precious and base materials along with petroleum products. So over the past few years, blockchain technology has been gaining a lot of popularity and recognition, especially when it comes to commodity trading. So, in common terms, it's a decentralized and a distributed ledger technology where the content is divided into blocks and it is connected via a cryptographic hashing technique, maybe SHA-256 or double SHA-256, and it is stored by all the participants in the form of a ledger that are linked to a common network. Coming to the types of systems, we can treat it as either centralized, decentralized, or distributed systems. Since it's blockchain, we more focus on decentralized systems where there are multiple points of coordination between the nodes that are connected in a network, specifically in a commodity market. We have got blockchain broadly categorized into three types, public, private, and consortium or federated blockchain. In public blockchain, every node that is connected in the network is accessible and open for all. In private network, the owners are restricted when it comes to the access. And consortium or federated blockchain can be an amalgamation of both private as well as public blockchain. So these are some other parameters which are differentiating the types of blockchain. Coming to the simplified architecture of blockchain, when I'm taking a commodity market scenario, we have got all the nodes which are connected with each other. And since it's a decentralized system, every node is going to have a local copy of the common data, which is nothing but called as a public ledger, so that every transaction that happens in a commodity market is known to everyone. And the main motto of this particular concept of blockchain, introduction of blockchain in commodity markets, is we can have a transparent system, remove the middlemen who try to carry out some kind of corrupt transactions, and we have smooth and efficient commodity trading that happens over the network. So to facilitate or enable this kind of scenario, smart contracts play a very important role, which execute on top of blockchain. So basically, they are a set of defined promises that are executed in a digital format, which are self-executable, and they definitely facilitate, verify, and ensure the agreement or transaction that happens. So smart contracts are conditions which the traders in the commodity markets will be putting without the intervention of any third party. And they encapsulate the business network transaction in a form of a code. Specifically, Solidity is the programming language that is used to write the smart contracts. Now I'm introducing the concept of systems approach in my study, wherein it basically helps in viewing the entire commodity trading ecosystem in a more systematic manner, which offers more insights and controls for a commodity. So when I'm using this system while carrying out trading, it's definitely going to foster smooth conduction, not only of national trade, but also international trade. Based on the topic, I have included a certain set of literature review, wherein similar kind of work has been done more or less with regards to blockchain commodity based trading. So these are some papers which I've included in my review of existing literature and the summary of each of these papers. Yeah, this is the major core concept which I've included as a proof of concept, which is a conceptual framework. So if you see over here, I have got five major entities in my commodity markets: the exporter, the custom officials, the importer nation, the bank, and the insurance company in case the goods are damaged at the time of commodity trading. So each of these basically can be written in the form of smart contracts, where I'm introducing a blockchain. So if you see the first part, that a transaction for the exporter will be sent onto a blockchain, a private or a public blockchain for that matter. And once the transaction needs to be mined, so there has to be some mining that needs to be done. Here, the miners are nothing but the persons or the people that are involved in this commodity trading process. Once they do a proper mining of the transaction, a unique address is going to be generated, and this information will be stored in a public ledger. So the beauty of transaction hashing is it's irreversible in nature, and once it is created, it cannot be modified. So a tamper-proof contract gets created by the exporter nation. So the exporter will upload the respective files, that is the letter of credit and bills of lading along with insurance document, and a transaction hash gets generated. If the contract is accepted, then a certain amount of custom fee is going to be approved on the blockchain network. Once the transaction or the unique address is generated, then the importer nation will upload the insurance papers and the proof of documents. The insurer
Sir,
also checks the
sir,
terms and conditions and the policy that has been put forth, whether they are in line with whatever were predefined. Then only if the
excuse me, sir. Could you
yes,
please
ma'am.
conclude? Could you please conclude your research?
Yeah. So this is the entire process. If it is approved, then the payment is initiated and and it is processed on the blockchain. And finally, the goods can be shipped. So this is the framework which I would like to propose and implement it in the near future, so that trade related transactions can happen smoother, and smart contracts will definitely help to move ahead. We'll have a paperless trading so that any human inadvertent error can be reduced significantly and decisions can be taken faster. Introducing IoT will definitely help because perishable commodities will be able to reach the destination faster along with the use of provenance tracking. So an encrypted system with mathematical algorithm will help in the prevention of cyber attacks. These are the references that I've used in my study. Thank you. Yeah,
Thank you, sir, for your
welcome, ma'am.
presentation. Ma'am, you have any questions?
I guess ma'am is muted.
Yes, she is on mute, ma'am.
Sorry. Now, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay, so
Yes.
Vivian, my question is I would like to know the pitfalls or laggings in the papers that you have studied so far, and how
Uh,
you have selected the topic, why you have selected this particular topic or approach.
this topic basically, ma'am, is my PhD research topic. So I basically found out that in commodity trading, the concept of blockchain has not been introduced. It's just at its nascent stage, where I observed that security is one of the main concerns,
Yes,
and
it's
a lot
fine.
of
Yes, it's fine, Vivan, but you didn't show any slide here which is focusing on the pitfalls in the past researches,
Okay.
limitations, and you didn't show that kind of information in your presentation.
Okay, ma'am.
So there is so you can't make the link among these all slides. It's why your work is not focusing on the that particular problem.
Problem.
Basically, you are focusing on that particular problem.
Okay, okay,
It
ma'am.
is just kind of literature review, and the topic that you are explaining related to the blockchain. It doesn't seems to be like a research paper.
Okay.
Yes. So if what kind of problem you have identified, you need to specify that problem, and then
Okay.
you need to focus the solution of that particular problem.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
I'll take care of it.
so I'm finding that slide is missing here.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah. That's all from your side. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
It
thank
was
you,
a
ma'am.
nice presentation, Vihan. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Now moving on to the next presentation. I would like to invite A. Karnan to present his paper on a review of plant classification using deep learning model. Sir, could you
Yes,
please?
madam. Yeah, I will share.
Yes, sir. Could you please proceed with your presentation?
Yes, madam.
Sir, is there any issue?
Yes, madam. I can't present the PPT, madam. Share PPT.
So you have an option there, share screen, right
Share
below.
screen.
Yeah. So still you have any issues?
Yes, madam.
So could you, in the meanwhile, could you just share your presentation in the chat?
Yes, madam. I can paste my PPT in chat, madam.
Okay. So in the meanwhile, we can move on to the next presentation until we fix this one. Ma'am, is that fine?
Yes, ma'am. Obviously,
Okay.
we must go ahead.
Sure. Okay. Moving on to the next presentation, I would like to invite Linu Tess Anthony to present her paper on demystifying the applications of wavelet transform in biosignal and medical data processing. Ma'am, could
Yes,
you
ma'am.
please?
Ma'am, actually, on behalf of the first author, I am presenting ma'am. Second author, Dr. Kumar.
Okay, sir. Okay, I'll take.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, fine. Just a minute, ma'am. So a very glad good morning to each and everyone. Myself, Dr. Kumar Razan, working as Associate Professor in the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering in Amaljodi College of Engineering, Kandirapalli, Kerala, India. Actually, here I would like to discuss about the research topic, demystifying the applications of wavelet transform in biosignal and medical data processing. Here in this research work, we are focusing on what is wavelet, what are the different types of wavelet transform that are being currently applied in biosignals as well as medical images. These are the contents of the presentation. First of all, I would like to give you a very small intro about wavelet and its types. Then here in this research work, I have focused on discrete wavelet transform, quaternion wavelet transform, and Weber wavelet transform. The results and discussion is based on DWT, QWT,
Excuse me,
and
sir.
Weber. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, sir, actually, your presentation, could you please do it full screen?
Yeah, now it's okay, ma'am.
If possible, could you present it in the presentation, a PowerPoint presentation, if it's possible from you?
Ma'am, actually it is PDF combined in LaTeX, that is why.
Okay, if it's full screen, then it would have been more easy for us.
Just a minute.
If it's a issue from your end, that's completely fine. If you are presenting like this, you can proceed with the same. No problem.
Okay, fine.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So wavelets. Actually, wavelets are mathematical functions that are used in signal and image processing for feature extraction as well as for analysis. It is a mathematical transformation that breaks a complex signal or an image into smaller components called wavelets. Wavelets are localized in both time as well as in frequency domain. Wavelets represents high frequency as well as the low frequency components. Actually, wavelet transforms are widely used in signal processing that has its role in data compression, pattern recognition, and more. Actually, it outcomes the shortcomings of the Fourier transform. Initially, Fourier transform was used in speech processing as well as for signal processing applications. Later, short-time Fourier transform and fast Fourier transform were used. However, since it is having limitations in frequency domain analysis, we moved into wavelet transform. Many machine learning applications uses wavelet transform as a pre-processing stage. First of all, we can see a brief intro about discrete wavelet transform. Discrete wavelet transform bisects or dissects the data into different frequency characteristics. It comprises of 4 components: low, high, high, and high, low. That we call it as approximate and detailed component. And in the case of DWT, if you are applying an image, it is transformed into DWT coefficients and the coefficients are processed further. Now we can move on to wavelet packet transform. Wavelet packet transform is an extension of discrete wavelet transform. In DWT, only the approximate coefficients are subjected to next stage decomposition. However, in wavelet packet transform, both approximate as well as detailed coefficients are subjected to next stage decomposition. Hence, a much detailed analysis is possible in wavelet packet transform. It is also called as tree structure analysis. Yeah, integer wavelet transform. Actually, if you take the classical wavelet transform, the coefficients are in floating point numbers. Floating point computation is little bit difficult and more time is equivalent. In integer wavelet transform, the coefficients are round up to integer values. Hence, the computation speed is dramatically reduced when compared with the classical wavelet transform. This is the advantage of integer wavelet transform over discrete wavelet transform. And integer wavelet transform find its role in image compression as well as in image feature extraction as well as in pre-processing. Next one is the lifting wavelet transform. As the name itself states that lifting one stage to another stage. So it comprises of 2 stages, prediction stage and update stage. In prediction stage, high pass coefficients are processed. Then in the update stage, the low pass coefficients, that are the even coefficients, are processed. Lifting scale is an application of integer wavelet transform that uses integer coefficients. Now we can move on to dual tree complex wavelet transform. In dual tree complex wavelet transform, 2 trees are there. Hence we called it by the name dual tree. Compared to discrete wavelet transform, in dual tree wavelet transform, we are considering both the magnitude as well as the phase information. For a coefficient, both magnitude and phase informations are considered. Hence, it provides a detailed representation of the frequency analysis of an image. And DTCWT finds its role in image restoration as well as in image enhancement in image retrieval also. The wavelet transforms are having immense applications in medical imaging as well as in signal processing, like noise reduction, then efficient representation, feature extraction, aiding in preserving the diagnostic information. It is used in compression also. In wavelet transform itself, lossy compression models are there, lossless compression models are there, as well as it supports the classification task also. Now, discrete wavelet transform that have been already discussed. These are the mathematical formula for the discrete wavelet transform. If you are giving an input image, it is decomposed into 2 components, that is low, high, and high, and high, low. The approximate coefficients are again split into further stages. Based on the number of levels, the decomposition continues. Whether if it is an 1-level decomposition, only 1 stage happens. If it is a 3-level decomposition, 3 stages happens. Then quaternion wavelet transform. Actually, it is a special and a novel wavelet transform. Normally, complex number, A plus IB is the representation of complex number. However, we are having hypercomplex number. In hypercomplex number, there are one real term and three imaginary terms. If you want to represent a number in quaternion hypercomplex number means a plus bi plus cj plus dk. Hence, one real number and three imaginary numbers. So, in QWT transform, the coefficients are represented in hypercomplex number. So, a more detailed representation of the data we get. It is more advantage when compared with DWT. And QWT combines the features of quaternion Fourier transform also. This is the mathematical representation of quaternion wavelet transform. Yeah. And gay-bar wavelet. Gay-bar wavelet is a special type of wavelet that resides the features of Fourier transform also. It is able to analyze. Yes, ma'am.
Could you please conclude your research?
Yeah, just a minute. So this is the mathematical formula of gay-bar wavelet transform. I am moving on directly into the results and discussion. Actually, this is a mathematical oriented paper and all the algorithms we have developed in MATLAB. First, we utilized MATLAB software for the discrete wavelet transform design and we apply the input image and obtain the decomposition. Then we developed the MATLAB coding for quaternion wavelet transform for the denoising. And denoising algorithm was verified with the help of these matrices. For a good denoising algorithm, PSNR should be high, more than about 20 dB. Average difference should be low. Structural content should be closer to 1. Normalized cross correlation should be closer to 1. Laplacian mean square error should be low, as low as possible. Similarly, normalized absolute error also. These are the results. We took the cameraman image and applied various noise levels and applied quaternion wavelet transform algorithm. These are the results, corresponds to medical image also. Since our research is focusing on medical images and biosignal. Then gay-bar wavelet transform was also implemented in MATLAB and the input medical image was given. These are the output of the gay-bar wavelet transform. These are actually the features. These features we can give to a backpropagation neural network or a radial basic function neural network for classification. And gay-bar wavelet transform also we had utilized for edge reduction. I hope we all are familiar with the classical edge reduction, Canny, Robert, Privet, and Sobel. Gay-bar wavelet edge reduction produces better results having good edge localization than the classical methods. So what I would like to conclude in this presentation is that wavelet is a vast domain in mathematics that has its immense application in signal and image processing. A wide variety of wavelets are there. So as an engineer, we can investigate the properties of each and every wavelet and we can jump into these applications. Our future work is focusing on quantum wavelet transform. That is an emerging topic. So this is a prior work what my scholar had done in order to get into the quantum wavelet transform. Yeah. These are the references what we had referred. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for giving me an opportunity.
Thank you, sir, for your presentation. Ma'am, you have any questions?
Yes, ma'am. I have a question with Dr. Kumar.
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Kumar, I have a question. I would like to ask the uniqueness in your research. Actually, the methods you have or approaches you have used in your research paper or research work is not seems to be a new methodology or new work. Actually, in the past researches, authors have already used these approaches. So, what is the uniqueness in your research work? I would like to know about it.
Yes, ma'am, sure. Actually, discrete wavelet transform is a classical transform. Just like what in fact said, many researchers have done. Here in this research work, we had developed the MATLAB coding for quaternion wavelet transform as well as gay-bar wavelet transform for edge reduction. These two are the uniqueness of this paper.
But these two methods were already used by the researchers already in the past researches.
Yes, ma'am. But quaternion wavelet MATLAB coding with analysis we had done with respect to restoration approach, ma'am.
So have you studied a research paper on these particular area? These research papers you have studied already that you are showing in your slides. So, but can you tell me what were the shortcomings in the papers and why you have opt for this particular approach?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Actually, many of the approaches, if you are applying for image preprocessing, the PSNR values are found to be low, as well as more detailed analysis is required in frequency domain. Hence, we move on to quaternion wavelet transform that is having hyper complex number.
But you didn't show any slide in your presentation, which focuses on the previous work, which compares the PNSR values with the previous research papers.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Yes.
So I will try to implement, and our future plan is focusing on quantum wavelet transformer based on quantum mechanics. That work is also going on.
Yeah, that's it's okay. But right now you are not focusing on the shortcomings as well as the comparative analysis. Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Because
Sure, ma'am.
it doesn't indicate or show your result doesn't indicate or shows that your results are better than the others.
Yeah, understand, ma'am. Understand.
How you will prove? How you will justify it?
Oh, actually, we had done. I will try to incorporate the comparative analysis also, ma'am. Sure.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Is Karnan sir present, available?
Yes, madam.
Sir, is it possible to share your screen and present?
Yeah, yes, madam.
You can. Okay, sir. So could you please share your screen?
My screen is visible, madam.
No, sir, it's not visible yet. Yes, sir. Now it's visible.
Yes, madam.
Please proceed with your presentation.
Yes, madam. Yeah, good morning to all. I am Karnan, and I am doing with the PhD from Annamala University under the guidance of Dr. R. Raghupati, Associate Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Annamala University. Today, I want to present my review paper. The review paper title is Review of Plant Classification Using Deep Learning Models. The main objectives of paper is essentially examine the application of deep learning model in plant classifications. This paper aims to present depth analysis of various deep learning algorithm and data sets, challenges, feature direction, and evaluation metrics used in the plant classifications. My papers seek to discuss the practical application of plant classifications, challenges in the field, and featured research directions. This paper making a valuable researches for researcher, practitioner interested using the deep learning model to classify and identify the plant species. So coming to deep learning models. So the deep learning for classifying plant, the variety of deep learning model have been employed. The more established model like CNN, RNN, the contemporary model like graph convolution network, capsule network, Siamese networks, and multi-layer perceptron. Here I am specifying the visual representation of the plant categorization methods are displayed in figure 1 to 6. So the first figure, the plant classification using multi-layer perceptron. Its work on the each input node passes the vector input value to the hidden layers. The activation function used in the hidden layer to identify the activity node. The output is passed to the output layer, then calculate the difference between predicted and actual output of the output layer. So coming to the figure 2, the CNN model, the convolution neural network or the type of artificial neural network that is used for image classification and image recognition. And the CNN has the multiple layers. So each layer to learn to detect the different feature from the given inputs. Here the filters or kernels are applied to the each image to produce the output. So figure number 3, the plant classification using RNN. So that is recurrent neural network. So RNN work by the processing of sequential data step by step. It's maintain the hidden state architect's memory, which is updated each time step using input data and previous hidden state. So coming to the figure number 4, classification using graph convolution networks. The graph convolution networks are the methods for semi-supervised learning on graph structured data. They are based on the convolution neural network that operate direct on the graph. Here, the features are extracted by passing the input image through the series of localized convolution filter or pooling layer. So finally, the fully connected layers are used to produce the final classification output. In these concepts based on the GCN classify the plant species. So coming to the figure number 5, the plant classification using capsule network. The capsule architecture contains on encoder and decoder, which each component consists of 3 layers. An encoder has the convolution layer, a primary caps, and the digit caps layers. And the decoder has the 3 fully connected layers. In the case of capsule network, the information means the information to the related features of low level neuron is passed to those higher level neuron, which is record this information specifically. The information will not given the every higher level neuron, which is itself saves a lot of processing time. So the figure number 6, the CME networks, it is basically the similarity for based on the similarity and dissimilarity with the input images. The CMOS network is class of neural network. If that contain one or more identical network, we feed the pair of inputs to those network. So each network compute a feature of one input, and then the similarity of feature is computed using the difference dot product. For the same class input pair, the target output is 1. For different classes of input pair, the output is 0. So coming to next data set, the data set or evaluation metrics are crucial component for training and accessing the performance of deep learning models. Some important consideration regarding data sets for deep learning models are follows. So one is the large data sets. The large data set typically consists of vast number of classes. For example, thousands or million or even a billion of data points. And domain-specific data set, example for medical image data set, healthcare, financial transaction for finance. The last one, transfer learning data set. Transfer learning data set for deep learning plays a vital role in the development of model that can be leveraged knowledge gained from the one task to improve the performance of another task. Here the table 1, here basically the different type of data sets. The agri plant data set, minimum classes, and plant CL of 2022 data set specifying the more number of classes. So coming to next one, evaluation metrics. The table 2 specify the analysis of evaluation metrics used for the plant classification. Here I'm using the different type of data sets. Sir, yes, ma'am.
So could you please conclude your research?
Yes, ma'am. So the deep learning is a powerful but struggle with the research intensive data set acquisition dwelling. The figure focus on developing levels and supervised learning, reduce the cost and improve the scalabilities. And next one, conclusion. This paper explores the impact of deep learning models on plant classification, making transformative era in the accurate identification and management of plant species. This model excels at automatically extracting the interacted feature from the botanical data, provide the unmatched, precious, and adaptive to discuss specimen. Deposit the concept with data size computational requirement. The promise of data deep learning model in plant classification is evident, offering new possibility for advancing understanding and conversation effort in botany and related fields. This is my reference.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your presentation.
Yes, madam.
Ma'am, any questions?
Yes, ma'am, I have a question.
Yeah.
Sir, can you please tell me what was the training time when you have trained those those algorithms? May I know the training time of each and every algorithm that you have used?
Yeah, ma'am. This is my review paper, ma'am. Actually,
You didn't
data
implemented
size.
anything, sir? You didn't implemented any algorithm or anything?
No, madam. This is my review paper, ma'am. I'm
Okay.
exposing all the deep learning models.
Okay, it's a review paper. Okay, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay, that's fine.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir, for your presentation. Thank you, ma'am. Moving on to the next presentation. Sir, could you please stop presenting?
Yeah, yes, madam.
Thank you.
Thank
Moving on to the next presentation, we have Moreswamy Das to present his paper on enhancement of quality of software by optimization methods. Sir, could you please proceed with your presentation?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Madam, is it visible?
Yes, sir. Now it's visible. Please proceed with your presentation.
Yes, madam. Good morning, madam. This is Swami Das, working as associate professor in CVR College of Engineering, Hyderabad. My paper is enhancement of quality of software by optimization methods. So I am the first author, and my friend is the co-author, Gurupudi Rajesh Kumar. He is working as associate professor in VNR Vignan Jyoti, Hyderabad. So my agenda of the paper is introduction, literature survey, related work, problem definition, proposed model, metrics, goals of metrics, case study, effectiveness of model, and results and discussions, conclusion, and future scope. So today, the software development, it becomes more important in industry. So everyone in the software, they follow the software development life cycle. So the designer has to follow the standard methods, metrics for designing and developing of software. So we proposed a model that is the optimizer model, which recommends the software engineer that he improves quality while developing the software. So we have taken a data set, UWS data set, quality of web service data set, and ranking the web services, which are into 4 categorical values. One is high quality and low quality and average quality. So this web services are the important. It is a collection of functional services called what web service. Web service, the user can access the web services using internet. So software-oriented architecture, generally web applications use 2 kind of models. One is called what SOA software. So and another one is REST model or SOA model. So the web service application development user and service provider and the registry. So whenever the user want to access the web application, it goes to the request to the server, and server looks them into the registry for finding the services and getting the results, appropriate results from server to the client. So web application development, we use the technologies like SOAP, Simple Object Access Protocol, and Simple Object Access Protocol, and UDDI and WSDL. So generally, so there is a MOU with the company to the stakeholders, the users. So for a timeline for designing and development of the application function, software application. So there are many qualities of the web applications. One of the important parameter is availability of the services to all the users. So without any problem, right? So once the designer has developed the application, it has to be deployed into the end user and find measuring the availability of the services at any time. So generally use fault tolerant services for high availability. So we have conducted the literature survey for various papers, and the conclusions of the paper summary is that web applications, it has parameters and important elements, and there are quality of web services, and in order to meet the expectations of the user, the designer has to follow the quality metrics according to the designing of development of software application itself. So this right. So the problem of this is designing and developing the web application which uses the metrics, product metrics, process metrics, and project metrics, and optimization techniques. So the proposed model, so we have proposed a model that model suggests the designer to develop the web applications based on the model. So it measures the quality, right? It measures the quality and it suggests the recommendations to the developer while developing the software. So this ODAC repeatable, consistent, measured, and optimization. So ODAC means that there are applications, the parameters that taken into considerations are temporary, and repeatable means the parameters to be fine-tuned in a repeatable manner, and consistent means that it reaches to some level, and measured means it's the metrics parameters quality to be measured, and finally it will be optimized, some response time to be minimized, and availability to be maximized. Like that, based on the input parameters, the parameters to be optimized. So the software development life cycle, it follows the various things, right? Requirement analysis, designing, implementation, testing, coding, and documentation and maintenance. So the proposed work, there are steps to improve the application. So this first one is we want to plan the model. So software development, first optimized model is, so we want to take the model, right? Plan the model and take the requirement and designing and executing the task and checking the results. If results are satisfied, into uh, appropriate the stake users satisfied, and measuring the quality, and finally if quality is satisfied, if not satisfied, fine tuning the process, and the process it will be repeated until the process to be optimized. So this, right, the metrics are the measurement of the quality of the web applications is called what metrics high quality factors like software requirements. So every process is associated with a metric. So there are two types of metrics. One is called what internal metrics and external metrics. So internal metrics which are used for the software component inside the application. So external metrics which are used for the behavior of the system during the application functioning process, right? So there are some specifications. Product related measurements are the product related measurements are specifications, designing and code, and government policies and the specifications. So internal metrics and external metrics and optimization metrics. Example, for example, if you take
So,
there will be, yes, madam.
could you please conclude your research?
Hello. Yeah, this is the internal metrics and external metrics. Internal metrics are the metrics which are used while the size and modularity, functionality, the functionality and algorithms. These are called internal metrics. External metrics are the metrics which are used outside the application in runtime environment, like maintenance, quality, reliability, usability, and customer satisfaction. So this fine tuning the process for each verification and optimize and high. So this, right, input process software development application which optimize the process is first take the inputs and process and testing and monitoring the process and optimize it optimized and feedback, go for optimization methods, and finally reaching the output. So the algorithm for software development lifecycle is, so first read the input, and output is a quality parameter of software development application. So read the input. Step one is read the input to the quality parameters, and and analyze the data using the of the according to the stake users expectations. We proceed the model. If it is not satisfied, we go for redesign and fine tuning the process appropriate quality parameters according to the design, and repeat these steps 2 to 4 to attain the high quality. So this algorithm is used, right? So the results general instructions of the software application development, and algorithms plays a most important role that designing of application takes time complexity and space complexity. Interfunctional interfaces plays an important role, and the functional specifications, the code and timings, assignments, and the relationship, the interaction among one module with another module. So the resource-oriented measurements are these things, right? Internal and external, personal, team, software,
Sir,
hardware, and
please conclude your research.
yes, madam. Yes, madam. So these results are, we have conducted the experiments by cloud-based applications. So we so the class 1 are the enterprise applications, class 2 are the professional applications, class 3 are the medium applications, and class 4 are the basic applications are web applications. So this, and finally we conclude that, so we designed an optimized model which helps the designer to fine tune the parameters according to the quality metrics, product, process, and project metrics. So we have used a quality of dataset which contains 2507 records, and we categorize the quality of input software into web application into 4 types of categorical values. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your presentation. Ma'am, you have any questions?
Yes, ma'am. I have a question.
Yeah.
So, can you please let me know whether it is a review paper or you have implemented something?
Madam, we have implemented in Java, and we have taken 5 values of the important parameters, response time, and so 5 values, and we have given these inputs to the model. The model takes the input and executes the algorithm,
So
and
none of your, but sir, none of your slide explains your optimization process very well or your results. Actually, the in the figure 2 you have shown the process of optimization, but but it seems to be a very standard process that everybody follows, right? So how you have optimized, or how you have optimized, I am not able to understand it. What approaches you have used to optimize a model, and which model you are going to optimize, and how you are going to optimize.
Yes, madam. Madam, for development of web applications, it requires various parameters, madam, internal parameters and external parameters. So, so we have given the input to some level. So 0 is the minimum and 1 is the maximum. We take the input into normalized form, and we have given this.
Have you used any certain formulas, sir, to optimize this model? Have you used certain formulas, any other formulas to optimize this? Any formulas
yes,
that
madam,
you have
madam.
used? Can you please show me the
Optimization.
formulas?
It is in paper, madam.
So my question is, can you please tell me the formula to optimize this model? If you have used any formula in the paper.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. I'm opening my paper.
No problem, sir. It's okay, ma'am. Can we go ahead?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Sir, could you please stop presenting? Moving on to the next.
These are the formulas, madam. Defect detection. This is the formula, madam. Okay, madam. Thank you.
Moving on to the next presentation. I would like to invite Vaishali A. Kirdekar to present her paper on impact of feature normalization techniques for recognition of speech for mathematical expression. Ma'am, could you please proceed with your presentation?
Am I audible, madam?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay, just a second.
Sure.
I will share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible. You may please proceed with your presentation.
Okay. Yeah, good morning, one and all. Myself, Vaishali Kherdekar, research scholar of Symbiosis International University, and I'm working with Dr. Sachin Naik sir. Today I am going to present a paper titled Impact of Feature Normalization Technique for Recognition of Speech for Mathematical Expression, and my paper ID is 230. Yeah, this is the agenda of my presentation: introduction, literature review, problem definition, feature normalization, data set selection, methodology, then result and conclusion, benefits of the study, and future direction. Yes, my next page is visible.
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Okay. Okay. What is speech recognition system? Speech recognition system accepts audio data as an input, pre-process it, perform feature extraction and classification, and then recognize it. The speech recognition system, these are categorized by considering the utterances, speaker mode, and vocabulary size. Based on the utterances, it is categorized into isolated word, connected word, continuous speech, and spontaneous speech recognition. Based on the speaker mode, it is categorized into speaker dependent, speaker independent, and adaptive mode. And based on the vocabulary size, it is categorized into small vocabulary, medium vocabulary, large vocabulary, and very large vocabulary. In this paper, we have conducted a research by considering the continuous speech, speaker dependent, and large vocabulary. Yeah, and speech recognition for mathematical expression, because speech recognition, it is a challenging because acoustic phonetic, it varies from person to person, and speech recognition sorry, speech recognition for mathematical expression is one of the challenging tasks because of its complex structure, which includes the superscript, subscript, the position of symbol, alphabets, function, etc. And existing literature that is present on the handwritten mathematical expression recognition, and there is a less work is present on the audio mathematical expression recognition. Yes, this diagram shows the speech recognition process where the input is given as a mathematical expression, speech signal, then perform pre-processing, segmentation, feature extraction, classification, and recognition. Yeah, literature review. Existing mathematical expression speech recognition, it has limitations in terms of technique, size of the database, and language used for utterances. Because acoustic phonetic, it varies from person to person. There is a need of mathematical expression speech recognition system for implementing the creation and modification of mathematical content using speech. Again, a constructive framework to recognize the mathematical speech is not yet proposed in the existing literature. Existing mathematical expression recognition system works for the small vocabulary size. Then the future normalization technique helps to improve the accuracy of speech model. And feature normalization, it requires the less computation, obviously, which improves the performance. Based on the above literature, it is observed that selecting a feature normalization technique is a challenging task. Feature normalization method that affects the classification accuracy and speech recognition for mathematical expression is one of the challenging tasks. So based on that, we have defined a problem to study the feature normalization technique used for speech recognition and find out the impact of feature normalization technique on the recognition of speech for mathematical expression. Then what is feature normalization? Why it is required? Feature normalization is nothing but where feature values that are present in the different range, and if the values are present in the different ranges, then it leads to developing a model with poor performance because some of the features may dominate the process of training. And this feature normalization used to convert the feature values into common scale. It is a process where feature values these are converted between one specific range for in case of this neural network it is in the form of 0 and 1. Then there are various feature normalization techniques such as log transform scaling, quantile transform scaling, max absolute scaling, binarization, robust scaling. Here we have considered 5 normalization techniques: standard scalar, maximum absolute scalar, robust scalar, and quantile transformer scalar and power transformer. For this study, we have selected a data set of audio mathematical expression, and in that we have considered the 6 categories of mathematical expression: algebraic, quadratic, area, trigonometric, summation, and differentiation. All these expressions, these are recorded using Audacity tool with a sampling rate of 22 kilohertz. And we have selected a samples from age group 10 to 50 to cover all possible combinations. And we have selected while during this recording the number of males and females that are 10. This is the methodology where input is given as a speech signal of mathematical expression. Then we have performed the pre-processing. Then in our previous study that we have developed a feature fusion algorithm. That algorithm is applied here, feature extraction, and then feature we have normalized that feature here in this paper. Train and test the model and evaluate the loss and accuracy. That is what is pre-processing. Here, when data samples are created at the time of recording, there may be various types of components that interfere with speech signal and which is harmful, such as noise. This affects the quality of speech signal and the performance of speech recognition system goes down. That is here in this diagram, it shows that during recording here it is a non-voice part. That non-voice part is removed in the pre-processing technique with the help of filtering method. That is after this diagram shows after pre-processing.
Ma'am, could you please conclude your answer?
Yes, madam. Yes. The parameters that we have used here, feature extraction, in feature extraction, time domain, frequency domain, and substrat domain features, these are extracted. And then we have applied this normalization technique on that. And then we have classified that. During classification, we have used the neural network model where Adam optimizer is used to update the parameter, and ReLU activation function with a learning rate of 0.001 that is used, and past categorical cross entropy loss function is used. Here these are the results. Here it indicates that the robust scalar gives the maximum accuracy, that is 0.98%, than the other technique, whereas this maximum absolute scalar and then power transformer gives the less accuracy. Yes, for each category of expression, this accuracy, this table shows that. Yeah, these are the graphs. Confusion matrix for a power transformer, robust scalar, quantile transformation. And here we have compared with the existing research, and this our paper shows the maximum accuracy while using this normalization technique. That in this paper, feature normalization function, that is conclusion, the performance of feature normalization functions for the recognition of speech for audio mathematical expression is evaluated by extracting the time domain, frequency domain, and substrat domain features. And for that, we have selected the 5 normalization method. And the result shows that standard scalar and robust scalar function gives the highest classification accuracy, whereas the quantile transformation scalar gives the lowest accuracy. And the performance of the classification model for recognition of speech depends on the feature selection and the feature normalization. Yeah, benefits of the study, it will helpful to input the mathematical expression with the help of speech. It can speed up the entry of mathematical expression in documents. It will help the disabled people, especially blind, to document mathematical expression with the help of speech. And in mathematical tutorial system for organizing the teaching material also, it will help. Feature direction, that is, we want to extend these methods to different categories of mathematical expression, and in future we want to investigate a unique feature normalization technique for audio data. Yeah, these are the references. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your presentation.
Yes, thank you, madam.
Ma'am, you have any questions?
Yes, ma'am. Vishali ma'am, can you please let me know which software you have used for the implementing this work?
I have used the neural network model.
You in which software you have implemented?
With the help of Python.
Okay, in Python.
Yeah.
So, okay, ma'am. So can you show me any execution if you have right now in outcome of this particular approach that you have implemented?
See here, madam, this diagram shows the here this is a confusion matrix, that is the output of our result.
And which algorithm you have used, ma'am?
Yes, simple neural network.
No, you have used the neural network, but which algorithm you have used? I'm asking about the algorithm.
Okay, in that is in our previous study we have applied the KNN, then after that CNN and all that, means in this way we have used that, applied that algorithm.
So ma'am, the data you have taken, the input data is you have collected or somewhere
No.
else, or it's the original data?
No, madam, we have created that data set because existing data set is not available.
Okay, okay, you have created. So
Yes,
ma'am,
yes.
the can you show me the slide, the comparative analysis आपने जहाँ किया है? Can you show me that slide?
Just a second.
With the previous literature you have done the
Yeah, yeah.
So ma'am, there are only 4 papers you have studied so far, right?
No, for feature
compared-
normalization, madam, for speech recognition of mathematical expression, there is a very less work is present, existing work. And for a speech recognition, where the normalization techniques are used, here I have found these papers.
Okay, ma'am, but you have written neural network classification under classification methods.
Methods, yeah, yeah.
Yes. So you have written neural simple. You have used simple
Neural network, yeah, ma'am.
But ma'am, the first paper used the CNN, right?
Yeah, yeah.
No, like so. I think CNN gives the more accuracy as compared to NN. And how you are able to achieve the higher accuracy?
With the help of madam, in existing work, we have applied the feature fusion technique only. And in that feature fusion, I have used that CNN and KNN also. And in that accuracy is less. To improve the accuracy, whatever the features extracted in our existing work, again, I have applied a feature normalization techniques. And then I have found out the accuracy. Then I got here, we got the more accuracy than the previous one.
So, ma'am, how much time it took to train your data set? In Python?
It see here that for normalization techniques, separate experiment that are performed, that is more than 1 to 2 hours to train one particular model. It will take time.
1
because
to 2
I have
hours. 1
yeah
to 2
because
hours.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your presentation.
Okay, thank you.
Moving on to the next presentation. We have Abhishek Khatke to present his paper on lung disease detection based on deep learning techniques, a review. Sir, could you please proceed with your presentation?
Good morning. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, just let me share my screen.
Sure.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir, it's visible. You may please proceed.
Okay. Yeah. So, good morning, everyone. Myself, Abhishek Katke, and I am currently a final year student at Pune Institute of Computer Technology, along with my authors, Khyati and Rugved. We are doing this project or survey under the guidance of Dr. Anugha Rajput ma'am, Dr. Mosmi Munot ma'am, and Dr. Rupesh Jaiswal sir. So basically, this is a final year study, final year thesis for lung detection, disease detection based on deep learning techniques. This is basically a review which we have consolidated different research papers. So let me give you a gist of this paper, that this survey paper intends to accumulate the data. So whatever we are doing, that whatever existing work there is in the field right now for a disease detection or respiratory disease detection, we have consolidated this and created a comparative study for us to build our work upon it. So this system is basically used to aid the healthcare professional. As we have seen during the COVID time, there were more strain on the healthcare professionals. So this system, if effective with a more accuracy, will help in faster disease detection. Our goal is to achieve precise and reliable classification for respiratory disease detection. So a few of the diseases will be pneumonia, lung cancer, tuberculosis, and COVID-19. And if this early detection system is applied practically, then this can lead to timely treatment, improved patient care. That means we can specifically target a patient and utilize a method to personally for him, and it can also be cost saving as it can be faster detected. And this is a valuable tool for healthcare providers. So basic objective of this survey is to study various research paper, as I mentioned, and to analyze current medical images. The goals and benefits, as is written and I have mentioned before, the overall goal is to achieve precise, reliable classification results to enhance diagnostic accuracy and improve detection of abnormal lungs and timely treatment. So basically, this is a flowchart that we have encountered in several papers, and this is the basic implementation up till now. So basically, this implements a convolutional neural network model. So there, as we know, neural network is intended for what we can say prediction. So there are different types of neural network: artificial neural networks used for identifying patterns, convolutional neural networks used for identifying different images and patterns in images, and recurrent neural networks used for speech recognition. So basically, this is a convolutional neural network. So a convolutional neural network has different layers, like input layer, which is here in data pre-processing form, then region of interest. The input layer is generally what we can say is an image or a sequence of image. The layer holds raw input of the image of any depth or size which we are intending to create. Then the convolutional layer, this is the feature extraction part or the image segmentation part. The feature extraction part, which can be a 2x2 convolutional network, 3x3, 21x21, whichever it is. And it basically extracts the kernels or filters smaller matrices out of the larger picture and tries to recognize the pattern between these images, and it assigns a weight to this, and it has an activation function or activation layer. The activation layer is a layer which is used what is by adding an activation layer to the output of the preceding layer. Activation adds non-linearity to the network. So we are using currently different activation functions like ReLU, rectilinear linear unit activation function, tanh, sinH, leaky ReLU, etc. Pooling layer is added period. Then there is a pooling layer. Pooling layer is added periodically for reducing the volume size of the volume and make the computation fast. Then there are two types of pooling: max pooling and average pooling. Then flattening, the resulting feature maps are flattened into one-dimensional vector after convolutional and pooling layers. And fully connected layers, it is takes the input from previous layer and computes the final classification. And output layer is the final output layer, which is then feed into a logistic function for classification task. Like here, we have classified these into healthy and non-healthy. And non-healthy, I have mentioned lung cancer. These are the different diseases which we intend to detect. So we can just put these two together in a single task. And so I was talking about image segmentation. So image segmentation is of two types. What we can say is semantic image segmentation and instance image segmentation. What we intend to is semantic image segmentation, which classifies each pixel and assigns a label. It is used for disease diagnosis and abnormality monitoring. It is a simple method, and it so these are the few of the papers that we have studied, and we have comparative literature survey of this paper. So there are around 40 papers or research paper based on this currently, which show different what we can say different methods they have used. So one of the paper is Luo et al. That is using DRD unit and gave the best results using WGAN. And these are few more papers. Um, so yeah, challenges and limitations right now in these papers that which we have identified. So limited and imbalanced data. So as we know, image of lungs or MRIs and X-rays are very big data set is a problem because of its lack of availability. So high quality labeled data sets for lung diseases may be limited. Imbalanced data sets which are underrepresented can affect the model's ability to generalize. So right now we are trying to implement it. We have seen that due to limited data, we are getting overfitting of the model because the data is less and the model is able to generalize more, and it is identifying the noise itself, and it is trying to identify a pattern that is not intended to be there due to the noise. So complexity of lung anatomy. So lung, as we know, there are different nodes in the lung nodes in the lung. So the intricate structure of these lung nodes can be a challenge for us to identify different diseases. Then the medical images, expert annotation of medical images and time consuming and requires specialized knowledge. So we are intending to put out different biological parameters which can help in what we can say is give better precise accuracy. So deep learning models, interpretability and explainability. Deep learning models, especially complex ones like CNNs, are often considered as black boxes, making it challenging to interpret the decision-making process. So conclusion, like out of this conclusion, we are having a comprehensive survey focused on medical image analysis. So right now we have just accumulated a survey. Now we have a comparative study. We intend to build a system which is more accurate, because right now the main challenges with any kind of neural network is the accuracy. Accuracy has been always a crucial problem. So we intend to increase the accuracy and build on the current system. So we have chosen a few architectures, uh, unit coupled with DNN algorithm, which has been given means unit gave best accuracy in one of the papers, and DNN algorithm in another paper has been giving better accuracy for classification. So unit strength we have given is proficiency in handling complex medical image data. As we know, we are giving around 512 pixel image as an input. So we intend to make it even smaller resolution, so that 256 pixels, so that we can also be able to generalize even better. Then CNN with LSTM. LSTM stands for long short-term memory kernel, shows highest accuracy, but emphasis on enhancing unit performance is important. Future scope is development of a functional, scalable, AI-powered system for automated lung disease detection based on our current findings. And these are the few of the references that we have mentioned. These are the few, we have referred actually 40 of them, but these are the few main ones and which we are building on. And yeah, we would like to add the biological parameters, as I said. So these biological parameters can help in more generalizing. And thank you. If there are any questions, I will be happy to answer.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your presentation. Ma'am, you have any questions?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Okay, ma'am. So moving on to the next presentation. We have Mujahidul Islam to present his paper on malware detection and classification with machine learning algorithms. Sir, could you please proceed with the presentation?
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
And let me share my screen, ma'am. Just 1 minute.
Sure.
Is my screen visible, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Mm.
It's visible.
Thank you, ma'am. Just 1 minute. Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. My name is Mojahidul Islam. I'm a student of Department of Computer Science Engineering from Beltech University, and my paper ID is 239. And my topic is detection and classification of malware using various machine learning algorithms and techniques. In an era where our digital lives uh, intricately woven into the fabrication of technology, like the threat of malware looms larger than ever before. The rapid evolution of sophistication and malicious software demanding innovative solution to safeguard our digital ecosystem. Today, I'm delved into the realm of cybersecurity, especially focusing on the detecting and classification of malware. Like traditionally, antivirus solution have served as our first line of defense, but the dynamic nature of the malware requires a paradigm shift. After the world of machine learning, a powerful ally in the ongoing battle against digital threats. The objective of my research, like demonstrate the role of machine learning, evaluate performance metrics, explore the need for advanced solution. As we know, what is malware? Like malware, short for malicious software, encompasses a diverse array of digital threats designed with the intent to disrupt, damage, or gaining unauthorized access to computer system, networks, and user data. As we embark on our exploration of malware detection and classification, understanding the various forms of these uh, pervasive threats is crucial. There are types of malware like viruses, worms, trojans, and ransomwares. And my main point, data collection and pre-processing. In my data collection, I have taken CIC Malmem. It's a data set which is organized by the Canadian Institute of Cybersecurity. It's a recent data set where I am doing the feature engineering, feature selection, and importance of data pre-processing. In my system design, obtaining heterogeneous data sets is a part of the system design, which ensure privacy compliance. Algorithms like as decision trees and random forest are used to the demanding pre-processing phases to address the imbalance and optimize the feature before machine learning models are trained. Metrics for evaluation direct iterative improvement for improved performance. Before being deployment, the final model is verified to our different test data, and ongoing monitoring makes sure it can adjust to new threats. This simplified procedure combines pre-processing, machine learning models training, and dataset management for effective and efficient malware detection and the classification. The machine learning algorithm. Decision tree provides interruptibility, but may overfit. Random forest mitigates this through in ensemble learning. SBM means support vector machine excels in a high dimensional spaces, yet can be computationally intensive. Where the exiboost and algorithm enhance predictive accuracy. KNN relies on proximity but can be sensitive to irrelevant features. Naive Bayes is a computationally effective but assumes feature independence, where the logistic regression offers simplicity but may underperform with complex relationships. Understanding these algorithms provides a foundation for tailoring approaches in the pursuit on effective malware detection and the performance evaluation. In assessing machine learning algorithms for malware detection and classification, logistic regression demonstrates the consistency scores across training and testings, and prediction also is decision tree random forest and XGBoost exhibits high training and testing scores, with XGBoost test leading in the 99.96 or 98, and KNN performs well with scores is 98.4, and the result is 97.17. Naive Bayes with a lower scores and indicates potential limitation. Support vector machine offers a robust performance with 95.42. The comparison aids in selecting the most accurate algorithm for effective malware detection, For the XGBoost stands out the highest overall accuracy. A resonance discussion. In my study, we employed diverse machine learning techniques to automatically detect abnormal system growth. Analyzing algorithm model performance proved successful in achieving better predictive algorithm detection. Using various algorithms includes logistic regression, decision tree, random forest KNN, SBM, NAIB, and XGBoost. We classified abnormal growth. XGBoost demonstrated the highest accuracy, reaching 99.228% with new data. This tree-based assembled machine learning algorithm exhibits superior predictive power and efficiency achieved through enhanced gradient boosting and with accurate approximation algorithms. Malware and data breaches. There are several techniques the hacker use for malware and data breaches. Like malware is an entry point for data breaches. Malware targeting personal information, mitigation, malware related data breaches, legal and regulatory aspects of data breaches. Malware trends and evolution. Like, no need to. In my conclusion, the study focused on developing an automated malware detection system using various machine learning methods and algorithms, including random forest, KNN, SBM, NAIB, XGBoost, decision tree, and logistic regression. And we successfully addressed real-time anomalies activity detection within human interaction. The analysis revealed that the XGBoost classification algorithm excelled in identifying aberrant growing patterns, highlighting the effectiveness of advanced machine learning algorithms. Beyond aiding cybersecurity, our findings open avenues for future advancement in automated threat identification in the and mitigation. Thank you for everyone. I appreciate your valuable time and spend with me. If any question, you can ask.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your presentation. Ma'am, you have any questions?
Yes, ma'am, I have a question. Sir, can you please tell me the data set that you have taken to classify?
Ma'am, actually, I've taken the data set is CIC malware. It is based on the obfuscating malware. Obfuscating malware that this is mainly focusing the mainly
Do you have data set right now? Can
no,
you
ma'am.
show that data set?
No, ma'am.
Have you done any implementation or
Yes, ma'am.
So you have used all algorithms that you have shown in your slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what was the classification? What was the output of your program? What was the input and what was the output?
Ma'am, in my data set, and 57 classes is there. It based on this ransomware viruses and the subclasses also is there,
Okay.
and 50,000 data also is included in my data set. Among that, I'm just taking it for my feature engineering. I'm selecting the best feature of this data set and the best accuracy from this feature engineering. Then I'm training my this model like random forest and XGBoost, this machine learning model.
Yes. Your model. What outcome your model is generating?
Yes, ma'am.
This is my question. What outcome your output your model is generating?
The model is mainly showing this accuracy of this all this data, like which one is for identification. It's will show the total 99.28, and the classification also is around like that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Moving on to the next presentation. I would like to invite Vanshika Jain to present her paper on mental health predictive analysis using machine learning techniques. Ma'am, could you please proceed with your presentation?
Yes, ma'am. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay.
You may
So,
please.
thank you so much, ma'am, for having me here. I appreciate the opportunity to share my research with you all today. So, good morning, respected members. My name is Vanshika Jain. I'm honored to be virtually present here with you today as a representative of Indira Gandhi Delhi Technical University for Women Delhi. Today, I will be presenting my research paper titled Mental Health Predictive Analysis using Machine Learning Techniques, and my paper ID is 180. So, these are the outlines of my paper. I'll be discussing introduction, objectives of the paper, related work, proposed methodology, results, conclusions. So, starting with the introduction. So, basically, mental health refers to cognitive, behavioral, and emotional well being. It is a measure of anxiety, stress, depression, emotional resilience, psychological distress, and more. Mental health problems are being very frequent for the employees at any workplace due to decreasing physical work and social interaction. And delayed detection of mental health issues can lead to severe health problems. So, we conducted a study that aims to develop machine learning based predictive model to predict the mental health of employees at any workplace. So, in my paper, we have implemented logistic regression, decision tree, random forest, and k nearest neighbors. And we have also measured the performance of these models using accuracy, precision, and AUC scores. So, coming to objectives of my paper, the primary objective is to conduct a comprehensive comparative study of machine learning algorithms for mental health prediction to identify the most accurate and efficient models. The paper outlined the data sources, pre-processing steps, feature selection, and model evaluation techniques used in the comparative study. The paper employed various performance matrices such as accuracy, precision, and AUC scores to assess the model's accuracy. My research aims to provide practical insights that can assist in mental wellness of employees, health policy, and organizations' efforts. These are some existing approaches. I have mentioned some more in my paper. Now, the proposed methodology. So, first of all, I collected the data set from OSMI data set from Kaggle repository, which was having 27 columns and 1259 rows. We performed data cleaning, transforming, and preparing it for machine learning. The steps include handling missing values, outlier detection, and feature engineering. Then we come to data splitting. We have divided the data set into training and testing sets, out of which 70% of data is used for training the machine learning models, while 30% is reserved for evaluating their performance. I implemented 4 machine learning algorithms: logistic regression, decision tree, random forest, and k nearest neighbors using scikit-learn library in Python. And I used accuracy, precision, and AUC score for comparison to find the best suited model for my dataset. These are the conclusion matrices of the machine learning algorithms which I implemented. These are for logistic regression, decision tree, random forest, and k nearest neighbor. And these are the performance matrices: the accuracy, AUC score, and precision. Now, concluding my paper. In this research paper, I performed to develop a predictive machine learning model using 4 machine learning algorithms: logistic regression, random forest, decision tree, and KNN. We discovered that decision tree is the best suited model with accuracy of 82.27% after analyzing the performance of different models using accuracy, precision, and AUC scores. We also found that logistic regression is the least suited model for our dataset with an accuracy of 69.04%. In future work, I'll be focusing on expanding the scope of our research. We will work on more related data sets and can expand our model by adding more health factors that are associated in prediction of mental health, and by working on machine learning algorithms along with accommodating more performance matrices. This expansion aims to uncover novel insights and solutions for more accurate and robust mental health prediction, ultimately contributing to the broader field of medical science and psychology, addressing and assessing the mental well-being and mental disorder among people at any workplace. These are some references which I used, and thank you so much. That's it from my side.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your presentation. Ma'am, you have any questions?
Yes, ma'am. Hi, Vanshika. Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Vanshika, can you tell me what kind of mental state or mental health you are going to predict or identify in your research paper?
Ma'am, actually, the mental health at any workplace among the employees, when they spend their whole day at the workplace, so they feel exhausted. So we
What
will be
kind
going
of
with
mental
that.
status you are predicting?
Sorry, ma'am, I didn't get your question.
What kind of mental state you are going to predict? Okay, the data set you have already used in your research work.
Yes,
How many features it is having?
ma'am, it was having 27 features.
Can you name it?
Ma'am, all 27.
Yeah, few of them.
Ma'am, I have used basically age, gender, history, and benefits, care options, tech company, and leaves granted to them, work interfere, etc.
So you are giving these features as an input,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So what output you are getting?
Whether they need treatment or not.
Just you are just predicting whether they would be needing treatment or not, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So on which parameters?
Ma'am, using these factors like what's their background, family background, or
Okay, thank you, Vanshika. Thank you so much.
thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for your presentation. Thank you, ma'am. Moving on to the next presentation, we have Shivkumar S. to present his paper on victimization of big data, a solution using federated learning. Sir, could you please proceed with your presentation?
Thank you, ma'am. I'm just sharing my screen. Can you please confirm if my screen is visible?
Yes, sir, it's visible. You may please proceed.
Yeah. So, very good morning to everyone. My name is Shiv Kumar, and I'm from Amrita School of Engineering, Bangalore. So here I'm here to present my project titled Victimization of Big Data, a solution using federated learning. And my co-author is Supriya M. This is the contents of the presentation. I'll quickly get into it. So coming to the motivation of our project, so we know that big data or large data is something which is being collected every day, and there's an exponential rise in this domain. There are a lot of challenges with big data. We have to capture it, curate, storing, searching, transferring big data, analyzing it, and even visualizing is something which is very difficult to do, and that's why we have a lot of big data frameworks. There are also mainly 5 important characteristics, also known as V's of big data, namely volume, which talks about the amount of data. Value is the value that can be generated out of this data. Variety is the variety that it offers. Velocity is the speed at which this data can be processed. And veracity is how truthful the data is. So these are some important characteristics. Totally, there are about 42 characteristics in big data. And these V's, right, will actually explain only the advantages and disadvantages of big data. However, not all these V's have a proper solution to it, which especially the disadvantage part. And one thing which we were able to find out using big data is the privacy concerns for all the customers or all the users using this. That is something which has to be overcome. So that's why our problem statement is to actually study and introduce a new V or a new characteristic for big data called as victimization. And we're also trying to give a solution to this characteristic using federated learning approach. So coming to what victimization actually is. So victimization in the context of big data is something where individuals or group of individuals experience any harm or any negative consequence due to the leakage of the data, their large scale data. Because this can raise a lot of privacy breaches, unauthorized access, and misuse of personal information, which can impact a whole company itself. And that's where they become victimized. And big data can pose these certain vulnerabilities as of today, and especially when they're stored at a centralized location. If there is any data breach, that can be very harmful, and that is why we are trying to use federated learning, which could be incorporated in this scenario, so that this can be stopped. So we have done an intensive literature survey, and we have actually I would just like to highlight two papers which gave us this idea to go ahead. The first one is Big Data in Healthcare, a survey paper. So this actually gave us an idea of all the big data tools that have been used, their limitations, their architectures, etc. So that actually gave us an idea to move forward. Second is federated learning for big data in the domain of healthcare. So since we are concentrating in healthcare and also federated learning, so this paper actually gave a survey of what all could be done. However, they have not shown if any papers are there of implementation. So that's why we thought we will implement and show our small POC. So we have used two data set for this. The first one is diabetes with medical and demographic data. So this is a data based on Kaggle, and the features are age, gender, body mass index, hypertension, etc. It consists of about 10,000 data samples. So our main aim is we want to predict whether a person has diabetes or not. The second data set is also PIMA Indians Diabetes Database. So this is a very famous data set given by a National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases. And this includes a few other features such as pregnancies, glucose, blood pressure, skin thickness, etc. And however, this consists of only 768 data samples. So this is the overall data distribution of both the data set. We have removed one feature called a smoking history because there are a lot of null values. And we are looking at the data distribution, we're able to see that there is not very much correlation, so we can overcome the multi-collinearity problem over here. So this actually helped us to actually fine tune our data set. We've also processed the data set by removing the null values. So coming to the system architecture, so we have actually used three system architectures. First is the conventional deep learning approach. So in the conventional deep learning approach, the raw data are actually collected. So here we are considering a hospital scenario, healthcare scenario. So we are considering hospitals. So in hospitals, they'll collect the data set and they'll share it to a central server. And at the central server, the model will be trained and it will share the model back. So here the raw data is being shared, and that will actually create a lot of privacy concerns. The second is federated learning approach. So in federated learning approach, which we are proposing, there will be local models deployed in these hospitals, and the data set will be collected by the hospitals, and the local data will be trained using the local models. And to the central server, only the gradients or other learnable parameters will be sent and will be aggregated so that we'll get an overall model. So here we're only sharing the gradients and parameters. So out of that, we cannot derive anything. So the privacy issues overcome. And the third one is Apache Spark, which is a big data framework. So we wanted to compare Apache Spark and federated learning. So in Apache Spark, we have the driver node, which will actually assign the tasks to the worker node. And the cluster manager will actually help in providing the resources for the worker node. And here, the raw data will be sent from the driver node to the worker node. So again, it is stored at a centralized location and it is being sent to the worker node. So there is a possibility that if this data gets leaked, then it will be creating a lot of privacy concerns for all the users. Coming to the model architecture, so the model inside which all these system architecture which I proposed earlier is actually a multi-layer perceptron. So this is the model which will be trained internally. We have ReLU activation function which is used. The input layer consists of 7 or 8 neurons depending on the data set we are using, and the hidden layers will have 5 neurons. The output layer will have 2 neurons, and there's a softmax function because it's a binary classification problem. Coming to our results, I'll quickly get into the results. The first one is PIMA Indians diabetes database. In that data set, using conventional deep learning approach, we are able to get an accuracy of about 81%. It was trained for 500 epochs. If I look at federated learning approach with the same data set, I'm able to get an accuracy of 80%, which is slightly less, very slightly less compared to conventional deep learning approach, but still we are overcoming privacy issues, so that's a very good advantage. Coming to Apache Spark, so Apache Spark was trained for 500 epochs, and it just gave us 64% for this data set. For the 64% of accuracy for this data set, which is comparatively very, very low. We wanted to test with another data set, for conventional deep learning approach, we were able to get an accuracy of 96%, and for federated learning, we were able to get again for 96%, which is the same. And for Apache Spark, we got about 91%. So I have just tabulated just to show the comparison. So in the comparison, we are able to see that federated learning is performing equally good as conventional deep learning, and it's also able to overcome privacy issue, whereas Apache Spark is not able to perform as good as it has to, and also the privacy issue is not overcome there. And coming to our conclusion, so in our work, we are trying to define or introduce a new characteristics to big data called as victimization. And federated learning could be a very good option to overcome this issue. It can also handle large amount of data. And the reason why Apache Spark was comparatively poor in its performance is mainly because we were using batch processing data. If you are using stream processing based data, then definitely it could have performed even better. But at that scenario, also federated learning will definitely be a good option. And our future scope is we are actually trying to work on introducing noisy wireless channel to see how the federated learning will behave in a noisy wireless network. So that is something which we have to work out and look at that performance. And also various other model architectures could also be created. We have used a simple MLP. We can use other kinds of models like CNN, LSTM, etc., and check if the performance increases because it's a hospital scenario or a healthcare situation. So these are a few references. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your presentation. Ma'am, you have any questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Moving
thank
on
you,
to
ma'am.
the next presentation. We have Vedant Badade for presenting his paper on Wi-Fi internetwork stimulation and performance analysis using Quellnet. So could you please proceed with your presentation?
Yes, sure, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Thank you. I'll just share my screen.
Sure, sure, sir.
Ma'am, is the screen visible properly?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yes, sure. Thank you. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Vedant Badde, and I am a third year student of Pune Institute of Computer Technology, Pune. Today, I'm going to present you a research paper based on Wi-Fi internetwork simulation and performance analysis using Qualnet, along with my friends who have worked with me under the guidance of Dr. R.C. Jaiswal. So starting with, as we all know, Wi-Fi is an omnipresent technology. It is present in each and every aspect of our life. Like in today's world, it is very much difficult to do the daily tasks which we are doing without the presence of Wi-Fi. Secondly, what is Wi-Fi internetworking? Let us suppose that there is a proper building in which we are moving from the first floor to the second floor. Two different Wi-Fis will be available on the two floors. Now, when I am moving from the first to the second floor, there will be a switching that will happen in the network that is being selected. So this is nothing but that switching in order to the switching without any disruptions is Wi-Fi internetworking. And the objective of our project is to explore the Wi-Fi internetworking through simulation and performing analysis of various factors based on the quality of service parameters, like it might be jitter, it might be latency, etc. For the same, we are making use of QualNet, which is a powerful network presentation and network simulation tool. The main aim is to examine various Wi-Fi network performance and analyze different configurations, traffic patterns, and QoS metrics. Next, we move on to the methodology. As mentioned earlier, we have made use of QualNet. The network topology, it has been developed in such a way so that it can be very much robust to support the various scenarios which can be imagined by us. The access points, basically, they are strategically placed. We have made use of various IEEE 802.11 standards. These are basically wireless wireless connection standards which are necessary for simulation of Wi-Fi infrastructures. Dynamic user movements are very much necessary, and this is basically the crux of the research. They are very much necessary, and it necessitates seamless handovers, which are very much important. Simulation scenarios, roaming scenarios, wherein people or the users, they will move from one place to another, and as a result, the switching of Wi-Fi will take place. Secondly, real world conditions, like the amount of traffic which is being accessed by the, or which is being we can say bombarded on the access points. Secondly, the quality of service parameters like latency, jitter, packet loss. Latency is nothing but basically the time required for a packet to move from the transmitter to the receiver. Jitter, we can say it is the jitter is nothing but the variability in the time. Suppose two packets are moving from point A to point B, there will be a time difference between time difference in the arrival of these two packets. So this is nothing but jitter. And packet loss, which is very much important, which should be as less as possible. Also, when any protocols or when connection between two devices comes into play, the security is very much important. And as far as security of Wi-Fi is concerned, the Wi-Fi protected access protocols come into play. We have made use of two of them, WPA2 and WPA3. Next is network design and setup. So architecture and network layout. The main aim is to simulate a complex real-world Wi-Fi inter-network scenario. As mentioned before, access point placement has been done very much strategically, and we have made sure that the environment which we are using, it is a very it will be a dense environment where multiple users will be able to access the Wi-Fi dynamically. Client device distribution. Also, client devices have been distributed around the various Wi-Fis which are available. Next, we come to the configuration and interconnection. As mentioned before, these are the properties which are mentioned. It is regarding IEEE 802.11 standards. We have made use of 802.11n, 802.11 AC standards, and along with it, other standards have also been used. Client device configuration. Configured various network profiles and test different aspects of Wi-Fi inter-networking. Interconnection. Now, basically, this is important because it is important to understand as to how this interconnection takes place. Basically, in the initial stages, there will be the strength of Wi-Fi which a device will be receiving. If the current continuous monitoring is performed by the device, if the amount of or the strength of the signal drops before a particular threshold value, in that case, it will search for other devices where the strength of that Wi-Fi is above the threshold value. Now, if this is present, the particular device, it might be, the devices can be a lot of devices, like it might be a mobile which is being used, it might be a laptop, it might be various other devices like digital watches, etc. It will check for the strength of the signal in some other for some other Wi-Fi, and if this is above the threshold value, it will be establish a proper communication. Traffic models we have made use of are data streaming, VoIP, that is voice over IP calls, and IoT data. Data streaming, basically, this is important for high definition images and messages which will be sent, or we can say the videos and images and the mails which will be sent. VoIP are basically important because the advantages are low latency, that is the time required for the transfer of packets is very much low, and high quality voice communication. IoT data, it represents growing presence of smart sensors in Wi-Fi networks. Simulation and data collection. So scenario setup, of course, we have made use of configuration files, the various libraries which are available in Qualnet. Secondly, simulation run is, of course, real-time simulation. Until and unless we are able to simulate a real-time scenario, we cannot say that the particular simulation will be very effective when it is actually implemented. Next is data collection and analysis. As mentioned earlier, QoS metrics are being taken care of. Next is the network throughput. Throughput is nothing but the amount of data that is being transferred in a given amount of time. Signal strength signal strength has to be monitored critically, and of course the state of the device as to where the device is present. Multiple runs and variations are required. This is required because let us consider one particular scenario which is present. We cannot consider that if the model is working for one particular scenario, it will work for all the scenarios. Hence, multiple runs and variations in the scenarios which are being created, that is diversified conditions, is very much important. Qualnet is we can say a software which helps us to export the data which is being which is being generated by the software into various other formats like bar charts, we can say line charts, other statistical data, etc. An iterative process in order to validate the performance of the various network, we can say network models, etc. The iterative process is necessary, doing the
So,
same thing. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
could you please conclude your research?
Yes, I'll surely, yes. Yes, so at last, results and analysis. All these things which are mentioned over here, this is just, we can say, a summary of the things which I mentioned earlier. We are making use of access points, traffic load, security settings, etc. Moving on, we have also made use of, we have not included over here, we have made use of graphs and statistical data in order to plot those graphs. It might be unicast session as far as the client is concerned, and as well as the host or the mobiles or the other devices which are connected to the server are concerned. Moving on towards the conclusion, our study underscores the critical need for maintaining quality of service in Wi-Fi networks, especially for applications like VoIP calls and video streaming, where minimal interruptions are vital. We have made use of WPA 2 and 3. WPA 3 enhances security and introduces 10% increase in overhead. Overhead is nothing but the delay of the packets which are being transmitted. Qualnet's versatile and customizable platform for simulating diverse wireless communication standards, network configurations, and realistic scenarios has empowered researchers to conduct comprehensive investigations and derive meaningful insights in the field. And of course, last but not the least, as Wi-Fi internetworking adapts to escalating wireless communication demands, future research avenues emerge. Finally, we would like to acknowledge all the professors, that is Dr. Rupesh Jaiswal, and the research group that is being present in our college, that is Modrop, for giving us this opportunity to do research on the particular software which is being used. Thank you. Any questions? I'm happy to answer all the questions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your presentation. Ma'am, you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. This brings us to the end of our presentations. I sincerely thank our authors for their excellent presentation and contribution in this session, and all our participants for being a part of this international conference. I hope this session was informative enough. We, on behalf of the whole team, thank you for the support during this 8th version and the previous 7 versions of the conference. We'll be happy to have you in the 9th version in 2025. All the presenters would be getting their digital certificates through email within 2 working days. Further, all the papers have been forwarded to the Springer. The publication will be live within 6 months. Kindly cooperate with the team of SMARTCOM 2024. I also thank our session chair, Dr. Smita Agarwal, for chairing the session. A token of appreciation, to the chair on behalf of Team SMARTCOM 2024 and Global Research Foundation and partners. Thank you for your valuable presence, ma'am.
Thank you to you also, ma'am. I would like to thank to you and your team as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. I kindly request you all to switch on your camera for a quick snapshot of the virtual conference. I would request everyone to please switch on your cameras. I would request every participant to switch on their camera. Thank you. Stay safe. Take care. Thank you. Thank you so much.